Welcome to the Villa Pride Down Under podcast, an Aston Villa supporters podcast brought to you from Australia. Today it's got Spud and Tes. We're missing Rhino, so I'm going to say hello to Tes. How are you, buddy?
Good, buddy. How you going?
Yeah, not so bad. It's not quite the 6 point start we'd hoped for, but after I predicted 2 points in the first two games, I must say I'm happy enough now with 3 points. Going after the first two games, but I'm sure I'll get your take on the game soon. But it was a topsy-turvy game, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit of everything in there, actually, to be honest. And I enjoyed watching the game from when. So caveat is that I woke up. I had to go to bed before I woke up to watch the game. So I went to bed and then I woke up at I don't know, it must have been about 2:35 or something because I kept pressing the snooze button to wake up 10 minutes before to see the lineup. So then I missed the first few minutes of the game. Luckily, it started late anyway. So yeah, I watched the whole game. Really enjoyed it, actually, watching from bed at that time in the morning. Yeah, what can I say about it? Topsy-turvy is a good way to put it. Controlled in some areas is another good way to put it. And I think, Arsenal were quite dominant in the first, I would say, 20 minutes, half an hour. You could see that they were really pressing and keeping control of the ball and dominating the game, but they weren't able to break through. So look, that was in summary for the first half. Second half, it's a bit more of the same. I felt like it was still a very good game. I think just a couple of defensive lapses in concentration allowed them to score goals, and we didn't win the game. But if I'm being honest, I thought we played well throughout the game. I don't think we played poorly and deserved to lose the game by a lot of goals. I thought we were okay and decent to watch, and Arsenal were a top team as well. As you know, we'd beaten them twice last season, so they're beatable, and they would have been really hungry to come and beat us at this game. So unfortunately, we had one of our starting liners come off the pitch. I think that was Kashi had to come off quite early in the game, so that would have slightly disrupted anything. But I guess overall, the win is a fair result. They probably deserved the win in the end, but we played well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I the first 30 minutes was quite a dour affair, in regard, from a viewing point, from spectators. It was very bit stop start. The referee was pulling everything. There was a lot of little fouls going in, and the one thing I took from it though is I think Unai Emery has really made Arteta respect them, because they were ball dominant, but they weren't hitting the spaces like they have been against other teams. They weren't creating a whole pile because he didn't want to commit too many men forward, because we showed how good we are in the counter in both games against them last season. To be honest with you, over the 90 minutes, we probably played better in this game over 90 minutes than either of the two games last season.
Yeah,
I know we were more clinical. First 30 minutes, we were really feeling each other out, and obviously we got disrupted with Cash's injury. But they weren't threatening us massively. I think Martinez made one brilliant save. All right, it was a lovely bit of football from Odegaard and Saka. You just have to sit, but I'm a Villa fan, but I appreciate football, man. I sat back and I thought that is a lovely, lovely move. You have to appreciate a move like that. The intelligence of Odegaard and Saka there was. I'm not sure if it had played on with Saka offside. I'm not sure, but just brilliant piece of football. Morgan Rogers, man, what a footballer! He's just wow. He's the best player on the pitch. I think there's no doubt about that. I mean, his ability to carry the ball, it's phenomenal. When Unai Emery was getting slated for signing him for 10.75 million or whatever it was from the Championship, and
I thought it was around 8, but yeah.
Yeah, or maybe it raises to 10.75.
Yeah.
Appearances or something. I'm not too sure, but he didn't do very well alone at Lincoln. He didn't do very well, and then he went to Middlesbrough, and we were playing Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, and Emery's analysis drew him towards Rodgers, and then of course we have Mark Harrison, who's the West Brom academy. He's now the Villa academy, and obviously Mark Harrison would have had him as a young player at West Brom before Man City took him as well. So stars align, and what a player they've turned him into. It's just he was showing flashes of it last season, but you could talk if he could get some consistency. But this guy could go to an unbelievable level. Like the power of him. He was just shrugging off Declan Rice, just
Mm,
shrugging off Partey. They're not small men.
mm.
Like powerful runner, and there was a lot to be thankful for in that first half. I think like I remember starting last season. Obviously, we got beaten against Newcastle. We got beaten well as well. You can see what we're doing. Like we look a good team. Look, that look, no one wants to lose games, but I can't be too harsh on them, to be honest. Like I mean, I think like Arsenal are a very good side, and Arsenal will finish in the top two. There's no doubt about that. And there wasn't a whole pile between the two teams. I think it took us a while to feel us in, and even Nedeljkovic coming on, like like it's a good few minutes for him to get, but again, it takes the team a bit of a reshuffle with him to come on because he. But yeah, I can't be too harsh on them. Really, it was a really bitty first half, and then Rodgers kind of really brought the game to life. Really, in that after 30 minutes, he just started picking up the ball and darting runs, and yeah, I mean, I can't really complain too much about that first half. If I had one complaint, I'd have to be Ollie
Mm.
Watkins. Like, we
Hey.
love Ollie Watkins in this podcast, so I'm not going to hammer him like I'm seeing on Twitter, man. But yeah, he has to score that first one. He has to score it. He's trying to take a touch and everything. He had to, like, I'm not going to hammer him because it can happen to I've seen Haaland miss sitters, like, but you have to tuck that away against Arsenal. Like, that's, it's,
Yeah, I really didn't want to talk about Ollie in
yeah,
this podcast just because my feelings are different. Like my feelings are the same. He had to put that away. I think there were two clear-cut opportunities in that game that he had to put away and didn't. But this is a player that's been away on holiday, come back and hasn't played any preseason games. Like he's rusty. Like you could see that in the game against West Ham. You know, he wasn't really anywhere near in the game for 60 minutes, but he ran lots. And in this game, he did a lot of running as well, and was getting in the positions to score goals.
he looked a little bit sharper. Like,
He looked a bit sharper,
yeah,
and so you should. And the good thing is that he's in those right positions to score goals. Because it's Ollie, I'm not too hung up. Like I know that he has to score those goals. I know he has to score. That's his bread and butter. But I'm willing to let that slide. Strikers miss chances sometimes. The best of strikers have missed chances, and I think he's just on his way back to sharpness. And you can see that when he was playing today. I think by the next game and the next few games, his sharpness will come better and he will find the back of the net and he will score goals and he'll probably win us games as well. So to be honest, I can't follow what's been happening on social media, which has been so disrespectful in a lot of ways from stuff that I was reading.
yeah.
It's okay to say that he should have scored the goals. I understand that. But some people talking about... I'm not going to bother even wasting my time to mention what those tweets were.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's short term memory. Like it's crazy the way that people just only remember what's happened in the last 60 minutes, other than what's happened over the last few years with Ollie Watkins, and he's on his way to be one of our best ever strikers. So yes, we could have probably won the game had he scored those goals. By the way. But it wasn't to be today, and we'll see Arsenal at their stadium later in the season.
Ollie Watkins will win us more points this season than he'll cost us, as he does every season. So I'm not going to hammer him. He needs to score that, there's no doubt. But there's no one going to criticise Ollie more than Ollie's going to criticise himself. So, the Twitter thing, I wouldn't take any notice of. That's just a lot of people looking for attention, man, to be honest. So
Yeah. It's I just, as I said, I didn't really want to waste my time just trying to mention what they're saying. That Martinez save, though, sorry, I had to go back to that one. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
The fingertips, like, because you know what Saka reminds me of. He's like a silent assassin. Like he doesn't look like when you look at his face and stuff, and he's happy. He's a happy player, plays with a smile on his face and stuff like that. But he's deadly. Like he's a deadly player. And I knew he was going to try and come in and hit a shot, but I wasn't sure whether it was going to be going on target. But Martinez to get down and save that with their fingertips was that's what he's all about, Martinez. You know, he would have
There's,
loved
some,
to have got a clean sheet today.
there's something I must say I was really, really proud to see. I would say is we know Bailey, like his first, he's not the most natural backtracker, like, but man, he done everything he could to help Nedeljkovic today. He really stepped up his work rate once Cash went off, and I thought that was really good from him. I seen his side of a game from him today. He was determined not let Nedeljkovic get hammered down that wing, and he gave everything to track back. Some will say he should do that anyway, but obviously that's not what Emery's setting him out to do, like, all the time.
No,
You don't want Leon Bailey playing right back all the time, like. But I thought he really gave Nedeljkovic help today, and I thought that was fantastic. Instead of, it's a difficult task, like against Martinelli, and then Martinelli goes off and Trossard comes on. It's not easy against those players. Like, they're very, very, very good footballers. Like, so I thought Bailey really covered himself in glory with that today, and I think he was just a good teammate, as Dean Smith would
I
say.
think very good teammate today, and I think his game's improving a lot. Not just in
All
terms of
aspects.
what I think all aspects, his attitude in the game as well over the last 12 months has become really, really good. He's a team player, and I don't know if you watched any of the pre-seasons, but he was wearing the captain's armband in some of the pre-season games, showing his leadership in the team, and he seems like he's doing a lot, and it's a really good spot from you, actually, because I noticed that he was coming back, and didn't he have a clearance off the line or something like that? He did clear it. I think he cleared a
So he
ball off
got
the.
back and tackle as the cross was coming in from
Yeah. Oh, I
yes.
thought he cleared something. I thought he cleared one off the
Declan Rice
line.
played an unbelievable ball, man, and they hit on some break. I think maybe Rogers or Tillemans lost the ball in our attack, and then they just split us open. But he made like 50-yard run, and he cut out the cross.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 2:30 in the morning. Well, more than that, it would have been like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so yeah, good spot, because I thought he was very good. You also mentioned Rogers. Oh, I mean, he's some player, and we talked about this in the pot. Like, we talked about Diaby, but just before he was leaving, and I think I mentioned, we'll have to go back and listen to it, but I think I mentioned that he's a good player and stuff, but I think that we've got players that can come in and do what he does already, in terms of people like Rogers. And what I saw today from Rogers was exactly what I was talking about, being able to come from in your own half with the ball, and whether it's trying to find an avenue to get another teammate into play, or take that ball and keep carrying that ball forward. He did that today. Unbelievable. And I think he was doing that against West Ham as well, when he, like, there were spells where he was doing that. And other than Jacob Ramsey, but his ball carrying skills are unbelievable, and not just the carrying forward, like his ability and skill in tight spaces. Notice there was one point where he had like two players around him, and he's got the ball close to him, and he's managed to spin the two of the players and then make another run forward. Like, it was unbelievable watching him today. Unbelievable. Really, really good player. And I hope he just progresses, because he can become anything. He's so strong, man. Like, that when he pushed Thomas Partey off, I was like, what's going on here? Like, unbelievable.
Declan Rice was getting frustrated, man. He couldn't get near him there for a while, and Declan Rice is a good footballer. Like, I think the one thing I will say about Villa, we're going to have to get used to it, because we haven't come up against them much, but we're going to have to get used to it when teams start bringing their full back in and joining our midfield and making them a three. It's something we haven't come up against much. I think the only last time we done it was when we lost 4-1 to Man City away. We didn't even have our full team out that night, if you remember. So they didn't do it against us at Villa Park when we beat them 1-0. Man City, they played more of a flat back four. So, like, we're going to have, and I'm sure, of course, like, I'm not telling Emery how to be a coach. He obviously knows this. Like, but no, it took us a while to get to grips with that today, with Jurriën Timber stepping into the midfield.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You seen when we were able to go man for man last week against West Ham, and John McGinn was dropping in to become the extra man for us when we were joining Morgan Rogers and getting the 18 up the pitch. We didn't get the grips when it was happening against us today, and John McGinn kind of got caught in no man's land. He didn't know whether to go to Jurriën Timber or to stay with his own man. And, like, it was clever what they were doing, because Timber would step in, McGinn would go and cover that space, and then Rice was free. And Rice didn't get on the ball much today, but he was causing us all kinds of trouble because he was going forward, back, but all he was doing was creating space. And I thought his off the ball work today, Declan Rice was really, really good, man. Like he the amount of space he was creating for Jordan Timber and Odegaard was really impressive. Like, it just goes to show, if you're an intelligent footballer, you don't have to be on the ball all the time to do damage, you know. And like, Declan Rice gets hammered a lot for a lot of stuff, but I thought he was impressive today. It's probably the one time I looked at him and thought, this guy's got serious football IQ, like, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Andre
Julian Timber almost got caught. We almost caught him out for when
nearly
he
caught
had
him.
moved in, you know, and that we have to take. That's what I mean. Like, we have to try and take advantage of those opportunities, because we caught him out and he had moved into centre mid, and that's when I think, was it Bailey had managed to win the ball off Gabriel? Maybe was it Gabriel for that opportunity or something like that?
And Roger Square.
Yeah, but there was a couple of times where I was watching Timber, like, as soon as they've got the ball in possession and it was going from centre back to their right back, he's already moving up and going into centre mid. And I'm just like, who's got this guy? Who's got this man? And sometimes he would just like come in and sit behind Rodgers, wouldn't he? Like, he would just kind of like, so yeah, we do need to find a way. I think though, Emery is aware that there are still little things that he would like from our newer players to be doing when we're playing. I don't think they're 100% yet set in the structure, and it will take them time, but they will get it. You know, they'll know the assignment, but they're still getting used to it, I think.
I think if we get Kamara back like the way Emery's talking, that we will as well. That's going to be way less of a problem, because that space that Kamara's perfect for that role in there with Onana and Tielemans. They can put as many men as they want in from their fullbacks. You know what I mean? That we left so much cover in there. I'm not going to hammer him because he gives us a lot, but John McGinn is just not started the season very well at all, has he? He's a bit lost. He's had moments, don't get me wrong, as John McGinn does. It's kind of almost like he's not sure where he's meant, like, not sure where he's meant to be, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem himself. He's not. Yeah, he had some great moments where he turned with his arse again, but I was going to get that from John McGinn, but he's not had a good start. But like, maybe it's because other players are playing well that, or maybe I'm being a bit harsh on McGinn, because maybe he's just not up to speed yet, you know.
It's a difficult one, because it's the second game in a row now, isn't it, that he's been subbed. And I think before the season started, when we had all of these, we got a few new signings and we started to see what the team was looking like. It almost looked as though that the team could eventually start playing without your captain. Not to say that we're going to start playing without him and everything, but there's quality in the team now where I think he has to fight for his place. But the problem I find, and this is just my opinion, is that where is his best position in our football club at the moment? It's a difficult one, because he will come and play anywhere and do a job for the team, won't he? Like, he will come in and he'll play left side, or he'll play right side, or he'll play through the middle if he has to. He'll play left back if he has to, you know.
Give it all every time as well.
Yeah, but you've got specialists in certain areas at the moment, in terms of, you know, you've got Tielemans in the midfield there, who I think is, once he's up to speed, is probably going to be the kind of Dougie replacement that we need in and around there. And Onana does a little bit of both, doesn't he? Like, he likes to drive forward a little bit, but he likes to get his feet stuck in and make some of those tackles. But then you see John McGinn sometimes on the left side, and he doesn't really seem effective, you know, in the game. It's almost as if to me, it looks like he's limited in what he can do from that left side. Yeah. And then when he played on the right side, he had some quite good success, but he became predictable for other teams. They kind of knew what he was going to do. If he's not really going to try and cross the ball on his right foot, but he's going to try and use his backside to turn and make a dummy or something, and then go back on his left foot. And I think that got predictable at one point when he was doing that. So I guess the answer is that there'll be games where he's going to play maybe in the middle, and someone like Tielemans or Onana will get a rest, and he'll go and sit in the middle of the park, because I not really going to replace Rodgers up just behind Ollie, are you, really, at this stage, the way that Rodgers is playing?
if it wasn't early in the season, because I'm John McGinn could get up to speed next week and be brilliant, you know. If it wasn't early in the season, if we were a little deeper into the season now and things were going to get serious, like I'd be calling for JJ to be starting ahead of him, because JJ's made more of an impression on the games in the first two games coming off the bench. I think that's fair to say. And JJ looks fit and firing, man. I think he must be close to a start, you know. And then I can't see him. He's not going to replace Martin Rogers unless they give Rogers a rest. But Rogers has a long rest, so he's not going to replace him at the moment. He's not going to replace Onana. I'm very unlikely that he's going to break up that Tielemans or Onana midfield for anything at the moment. That looks pretty set. So McGinn is the spot. But I don't think he'll change it though. I think Leicester will be very, very similar lineup, because he's not the kind of manager to pull lads out for no reason. You know, I think he'll give it to them, and then I think what will happen though is after the international break, because they'll probably have a little mini pre-season over the mini break for the players that don't go away. Because maybe Ali won't get called this time. I don't know. Lee Carsley was in the stands this time, so
he's getting called up. Ollie's
Ali,
going, yeah. Oh,
he should.
come on.
He should.
I mean, no, he's no. He's like, yeah, he's good.
And then, but then I think when you come back after that international break, whoever goes away, who doesn't go away, I think then you have to kind of. That's when it'll really start fighting for places. I think you'll start seeing players getting pulled out if they don't perform. But I wouldn't see much change for Leicester.
I don't see him being like, I see McGinn still starting the next couple of games for sure. Yeah, you know, but it'll be down to his performances as to whether, you know, say for example, like he has an okay game but not like a great game, and then, you know, he gets substituted and given a rest, and somebody else is given an opportunity, and they come on and they start, you know, they're performing. Comes a really tough decision, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, it's a pity as well though. Onana got that yellow card, because that's what they had to take him off, because they knew there were 2 tackles left to go in, and like.
Did he look up speed to you, Onana?
Like yeah, today? I thought he was alright. I just think Odegaard and Declan Rice were so good. I just think it was like similar to what we done to West Ham last week. I just think Odegaard and Declan Rice causing us all kinds of trouble off the ball. I mean, like it was, and I don't think Onana was bad, or he wasn't particularly brilliant. You know, I just think that Rice and Odegaard had Tielemans and Onana's number in there. And I think that a lot of that came down from Jurriën Timber stepping in and just creating that space, you know. And also every now and again they can drop Havertz back in there as well, and they were kind of creating a box, and it was good. Arsenal were good tactically, like they've come on so well, like tactically.
Yeah,
I do like.
I had it to them. Like I think I had it to them as well. Like they were I think it was a really good game to watch. They deserved the win, I think.
If we had
they
scored,
put the ball in the back of the net. If we had scored, I think it was different. Yeah. No, I think it's different if we scored the goals like that. Yeah. You know, because other than the one that Saka saved, like I felt like we had better opportunities in terms of like taking the lead or scoring goals. So yeah, it could have been different, but yeah, fair play to them. You know, they won fair and square. I still thought it was a good game to watch.
It's a good game to watch, yeah. I will say though, I think the 2 goals we gave were pretty poor. I think they were avoidable. Like that ball Saka put across for Trossard, it was a good ball, but we had 5 men in that box. I know Rodgers got a toe to it and kind of redirected the thing, but like Rodgers shouldn't have even been able to get a touch. There was like the ball was not traveling at pace. I know it's easy to say when you're watching on TV, but like it's like we with enough body.
Onana was around there and kind of got caught ball watching.
Yeah, and Tielemans and it just like Trossard was able to wait on it. Like it was a good finish, and then the second one, I'm not going to hammer him obviously because he's got a lot of credit in the bank. But Martinez needs to save that. Like if that was all to he got slated. Like he needs that's a save he makes 99 times out of 100. You know, and I think he'll be
even then. I thought that Barkley should have been closing down Partey for that.
Yeah, they were very slow, and Pau Torres was very slow to get out as well. Yeah, no, I mean it wasn't an unbelievable hit or anything. Like he hit it, but maybe Martinez got caught wrong-footed and just seen his face. But I think he needs to save that, and I
I
don't
don't
think that's.
think. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he. I think he should. I think that he should have saved that. I don't know whether his vision was obscured or whatever it was. It was nicely placed ball, but yeah, you think he got a touch to it, didn't he? But you'd think like he'd
Yeah,
get his hand to that and keep that out of the net for sure.
he'll be disappointed himself with that one because I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then, like even then, like I mean, that chance there where Onana hit the ball and it deflected up over Raya. How he got that, he Watkins. But look, I think we both know Watkins should have scored, but we're not going to go down that route. We've already said that. But what a save that is too, like to get back up and do that. It's unbelievable.
Great save, unbelievable save. We still look dangerous, didn't we? Though, and you know, like we still look dangerous, and we were causing them a few problems here and there. And they had to be on their toes. But when their keeper was called upon, he did the business, didn't he? And
Keeper.
that's that second save. Yeah, David Raya. That second save. You know, Martinez. Now we would have been like singing it's world's number one.
Yeah, yeah. Arteta was very complimentary of Villa after the game as well. He was
Arteta was.
he said that tactically we caused them fierce trouble in the open spaces. So yeah, and which you could see once we got the ball to travel with, like we caused them trouble, like Rogers and Bailey mostly, I would say probably. Um, Look, there's defeats where you're kind of pissed off and annoyed. Like I'm just not. I've seen enough from that team today. Like I've seen enough in the first two games to know, it's going to be a good season. That performance today beats more teams than it loses against. Okay, it's not going to beat Arsenal. It's not going to beat Man City. It may not even beat Liverpool, but that will beat your Leicesters. That will beat your Everton. Like that'll beat. You can see what they're trying to do, and as you said yourself a while ago, a goal in that game changes everything. Because
Yeah.
if we score that goal in that first half, it means Arsenal have to open up a bit more and start attacking us a bit more, which is exactly how we want to play against teams, so we can counter. Just becomes a completely different game. But I still think, and you said it earlier yourself, I still think Arsenal are good for the 3 points. I don't think anybody can really say they didn't deserve to win, but we matched them for the most part, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that look, they're a top team and they're the favourites to win the Premier League this season. I think most people or most pundits are saying that this is going to be Arsenal's year. I still have my doubts personally, but we can go toe to toe with teams like Arsenal, and I think that means that we're going to have a good season and be able to go against some of the teams in and around us.
Yeah,
and definitely gain a lot of points from the teams that are kind of below us. So yeah, I'm expecting a really good season, and I can see what's happening. And you've got to remember this is match week 2, and some of our players are still trying to get used to the structure and how we play. And if we have a look at what's happened in the past, we had players like Bailey took a long time to sort of get into the structure of how we play and mentality wise in our structure. DRB was another one that took a while to get used to the way that we were playing and all these sorts of things. So I think we're onto a good one this season. Happy days. We have a structure. We're starting to learn how to play that way, and we've got nothing to worry about, in my opinion.
Yeah, with Mings and Kamara to come back, could be 2 vital additions. Buendia hasn't come off the bench yet. You know what I mean?
And I was just about to say, yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Buendia.
Yeah, I mean, it was a serious injury. Like, I think we will see him, but maybe the first League Cup game, maybe.
It'd be nice that'd be a perfect time, I think, first League Cup game to try and give him some minutes, even if he's not going to play like a full game. He came on and had some minutes in pre-season, so, he looks fit, looks like he's been training really well. So it'd be nice to see him, even if it's like a 15 minutes or a 10, 15 minutes or something to come into a game and get used to playing with the other boys. That would be nice to see when Deer come back. And of course, we've got Mings and Kamara to come back as well. So they'll be like new signings for us.
Yeah.
Just figure out how they fit into the system and can they earn their places back in the team.
And of course, there's still a week to go in the transfer window. So, like, that's not to say something won't happen.
Do you think we're going to do something?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah? Where?
I think right back.
Really? Oh, because there was that rumour for the Dutch player, wasn't there?
that was him. But also the fact that Carlos didn't come on today when Cash got injured kind of tells me, because I don't think he's going to go with Nedeljkovic as the main guy. I think we'll see a lot of Nedeljkovic this year, but I don't think he's going to be, if Cash is out injured now for a while, I just don't see him being the go-to guy, you know. I think they want to keep Konza centre back. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it is Decker Truda. I hope it is, because it didn't know a wild amount about him. I had heard him, but like since his name came about, I've looked up a lot, and I'm kind of really impressed. Big powerful runner as well, which is the kind of direction we're kind of heading as a team now. Onana, Rogers, JJ, it's just Pau Torres, ball carriers everywhere, man. It's really good. Like, I've watched some games recently, not Villa games now, but football matches in general. Some games have gone really boring, man. But no, I know I'm emotionally invested in Villa, so it's probably a bit different. But Villa games aren't boring. Like, Villa games are good to watch. Like, they're exciting. Like, that's my take. But I suppose it's very different when you're emotionally invested in any game, and I'm sure.
Well, they can be end to end though, can't they? Like even for the neutral, the Villa games over the last season can be like an end to end kind of game, or it can be like a tactical game where you're playing against the Manchester Cities who storm and walk all over teams, and you're watching Aston Villa absolutely tear them apart. And that would have been exciting for so many fans who are neutral or not Manchester City or Aston Villa supporters, just to see that there are other teams out there that can have this effect on the teams like Manchester City and the teams like Arsenal and on all those sort of things. So we just need to do it against Man United this season and not let Fernandes get a penalty. And yeah, we'll be exciting we'll still be continuing to be exciting to watch. For me, that's my opinion anyway.
Like, this kind of game, like, you take it on the chin, you take the positives out of it, you realise there's stuff to work on. We're not quite there yet as a team, but we know that. But like, you kind of think we need to go and beat Leicester now, you know, just go and win that game before the international break, and you look back and then you'll think, right, that was a good August. We had a good away win. We had a good win against Leicester, and then we had a good performance against probably the second best team in the country. So I do think it's important now to go and beat Leicester and then just go into that international break with a nice 6 points and 3 good performances behind us, you know. You can't go away and suddenly, like, because if you go away now and drop points against Leicester, suddenly the Arsenal game looks like a bad loss again, you know. But if you can take 3 points, like 6 from 9 is a good return in August, like. But like, it's kind of interesting because the performances are there at the moment. Like we look like a good team. It's kind of different to how we started last season, you know, because we had the bad start to Newcastle. We just weren't, even the couple of wins we got that start to last year, we didn't really look very good. Like, and then we just went on that big run. So it's interesting how we've started, and we have a good run now. We've like Leicester, Ipswich, Everton, and somebody else.
Then international break. They're all winnable games.
Yes, so we have Leicester, international break, and then we have something like Everton, Ipswich, and I'm not too sure one more. But
I mean, Everton. Everton. I don't know what's happened there.
A friend of mine asked me for a hot take the other day, what I thought was good, something that will happen this season, and I said I think Sean Dyche will get sacked and David Moyes will take over at Everton. That's what I see happening now, to be honest.
Hey, don't make me go up the road there to the shop and give them some of my money.
I just think it's possible. I think that's what would probably happen.
Do you reckon Moyes would want to go back there?
Yeah, I don't see when. I think the Everton fans are losing faith with Sean Dyche. The Everton fans will put up with Sean Dyche's ball as long as they're getting results, but they're getting worse. Like.
Yeah. So. I mean, there was some. Yeah. Anyway, this is the Aston Villa podcast, and not them. But it all
ties in because we played them in a couple of weeks. So.
yeah. And I just watched them, and I was just like, oh, unbelievable watching them. Just felt sorry for them. I felt sorry for the supporters with that performance.
Tess, we're going to do a short one tonight. We said for a bit of a wrap up. So, what I like to do at the moment is, as we said, I want to end most pods now on a bit of a positivity. So, give me a positivity from the game today, this weekend.
Morgan Rogers was man of the match for me. He was unbelievable. I'm so excited about this player. I'm excited to see him play because we've got this young energy at the moment, and no fear, and he's one of those players that just like he looks like he fits our squad perfectly. Just his attitude, the way that you see him in training, because you watch the videos, you see him in training, you see his relationships with the other players around. When
Yeah,
he's on the pitch, the hard work that he puts in. Sometimes he looks like his like legs are gone, but he still finds this other gear to go into, and technical ability, just strength, character. Yeah, so there's a bunch. He's really one to watch this season for me, and I hope he can stay injury free and do really really well along with some of the other players. Really good to watch him today.
yeah, he's the kind of player you go to Villa Park, you pay money, and it gets bums off his seat, and like he picks up the ball, like you can just hear the crowd like just getting into it straight away as soon as he gets on the ball. But it's not just his ability on the ball; he works really hard as well. He's
Mm-hmm.
like he's all in. He's there. He's ready for it. So he needs a goal. I'd like to see him get a goal. He deserves a goal. Um. So yeah.
He'll get
So
one. He'll get a goal, and he'll assist goals as well. But all in good time. And we've got Leicester next. See what happens.
yeah, and the big positive for me today was Bailey. I thought Bailey's off the ball work was really impressive, and it was kind of he was almost forced into it a little bit, but the fact that he went out and helped his teammates so much, I was just really impressed by that. And it was actually really good to see Nedeljkovic, and we put a bit of faith into Nedeljkovic in such a big game.
Mm.
Probably says the end of Diego Carlos to me, to be honest, if that's happening, because but then you kind of look at Diego Carlos, then you think like if we do sell him, who's going to play centre back? Like we don't know when Mings is going to come. Who's going to be the backup centre back? That's the thing, because we don't know when Mings is going to come back. Like,
Yeah, and yeah, I read somewhere that he didn't come out at halftime and warm up, Carlos.
oh really?
So I can't remember. I read it on social media whether it's true or not. I think it was one of the sort of more reliable sources though. But at halftime didn't warm up at all. So I don't know if there's something going on in the background there. Whether he's hoping to find a place to go and play football and play every week, or yeah, it's a weird one because there was quite strong rumours that he was going to be going to Fulham. There was really strong rumours going like he was going to be going somewhere.
They signed Joaquin Anderson from Crystal Palace yesterday, so that's
So
probably
yeah,
that.
so maybe the package couldn't be right for either party or something like that. Look, he can be very useful for us if he's staying. I think he's a useful defender. I think sometimes he gets caught out, when he plays on the right side of the two. I think when he used to play for us and before Pau Torres, I think when he played on the left side, I think he was
Yeah,
a better player on the left side of the centre backs than being on the right side. I don't know if I'm just looking too much into that, but it's just something like I picked up every time I watch him play. But he can be very useful for us, so hopefully he'll stay and he'll fight for a place. But we do have Mings coming back. We just don't know when that will be. And to be honest, we don't want to rush him back, do we? Like, he's been gone for over 12 months. We don't want to rush players back too soon
we don't.
because it can cause more injury, and he's got to get used to playing with the other players as well. So
I thought Luka Dean was okay as well today. I thought we might see Masson a little bit earlier, but maybe Emery was a little bit, because I think Dini does probably offer that little bit more from the defensive side of thing, and maybe he was just that little bit more cautious about Saka's threat and to bring Matson on. But I'd expect to see a bit more Matson against Leicester. Don't think he'll start, but you'd expect to see him a few more minutes. And Ealing Jr. and Barnett, none of them are even making the bench, so they're surely for a loan, are they?
yeah, Ealing Jr. I think is done a done deal somewhere. I think he's gone
Oh, really?
to Italy, maybe Bologna.
Oh, yes, I think I actually heard that. Yeah.
Maybe Bologna. I think that's a done deal. He's going on loan, so with no option to buy is my understanding. So he'll just go and play football out there. I think are they in Champions League, Bologna? So I think they might be in Champions League even. So
Yeah, they
they
did
might.
qualify for Champions League, yeah. And
Yeah,
which
so
kind
he's
of
gonna.
makes Califiori has gone to Arsenal, so that's their
Yeah,
left
yeah.
back. So,
So he's going to go and play football in Bologna. He'll get some Champions League experience and all these sorts of things, which will be good. And then he'll be coming back at the end of the season, unless they decide to make the move permanent. But there isn't, according to the reports that I've read, there isn't any sort of option at the moment. Barrenechea is a different one. Like, just very quickly, because we're going to wrap up soon.
Yeah.
Because there were rumors that he was going to be in the matchday squad for the game against Arsenal, but wasn't in the end.
Yeah.
So interesting. I don't know whether he's got some sort of injury or not. It'd be interesting to see what happens with him, because I don't know if he'll stay around, knowing that Kamara's on the way back. This sort of thing. There's other players that can kind of fit in there. We've still got Dendoncker sitting there, haven't we, as well? Since Dondonkers still around, so
Yeah,
be
not easy.
interesting to see.
Yeah. I surely
Yeah.
gonna have to see. With
I mean,
Baron,
like, Barrenechea is a young player, and from what I've seen of him so far, he looks like he could be a talented footballer, but he just didn't look very strong in the couple of games that I've seen him. You know,
you mentioned that
not to say
pre-season.
he's not. Yeah, just preseason, and I know it's preseason, but
Oh, it's
you
still a
know,
good gauge of what physicality a guy
yeah,
brings.
physically he didn't look to me like he's going to be. You know, you're coming against some of these big Declan Rices and all these Thomas Partey's and these kind of strong, you know, Kevin De Bruyne's and all these kind of players, and it didn't look like he was going to be strong and physically able to kind of do that job, in my opinion. But you got Dendoncker there, who's got a lot of experience and been there and done that. So maybe he hangs around for a little bit more, and maybe Barrenechea goes on loan somewhere. I don't know. These are just like random thoughts I'm going on with.
I think a loan to the Championship would probably make sense. Would it just give me you're in England? I don't see the point in sending him off overseas again. Like,
No, you've got to get these players used to English football, I think. It's different with Ealing Jr. because he was at Chelsea, you know, and he knows England and all that sort of stuff. But
you
with
could,
someone like Barrenechea,
yeah, I mean, like you toughen up very quickly in the Championship. Like,
yeah, and that
Yeah,
would
like-
and if you're a good player in the Championship, then you may be ready to step up to the next level. You know, like
Yeah.
Philogene played Championship football, didn't he? Excelled in the Championship, and now look, he's back getting his opportunity. Rogers playing in the Championship, excelled at Middlesbrough, gets a move to the Premier League. Ollie Watkins was playing in for Championship teams and Brentford and stuff, and gets his opportunities to play in the Premier League. Matty Cash. So if you can go to the Championship and you can be in that top echelon of players, then there's definitely opportunities for you to come back and play in the Premier League, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a loan to the Championship would be ideal for him now, just to get him used to English lifestyle. And were you surprised John Duran came on so late, or did you expect to see it a bit earlier, or did you think that was pretty normal?
I expected him to make minutes, but I didn't expect it to be any time early. I think Unai's trying to play Ollie Watkins into form. I think he's trying to give him minutes because Ollie Watkins is a fit player anyway. You know, like he smashes everyone on bleep tests and all these sorts of things. So I think he just wanted to make sure he gives him as much of a run out as he can. I think he saw that Ollie missed a couple of chances, and I think after the second one, confidence levels for Ollie may have dropped down a little bit. You know what we all know what he's like. Like he, you know, that's his bread and butter, and he gets deflated a little bit if he misses an opportunity. And maybe that was a time where Emery said, "Look, I'll get him off now, and give Duran a run out, and Ollie will start Ollie's going to start the next game."
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and he'll score. I've got that. Yeah, he's going to score as well. I hope.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking? 2-0 against Leicester, Watkins and Rogers.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0. I was going to give them a goal and for argument's sake, just for Vardy, but I think it might be one of those games of offside traps. And he'll be wound up about it as well. So yeah, he'll probably I think we win 3-0, and Ollie will score. Tielemans will score, and let's give Rogers a goal. Yeah, let's give Rogers a goal. 3-0. I said it now, but if we do a preview, if we're able to do a preview, then I'll update it and we'll do a later one if we're able to.
Yeah. might possibly start doing previews during the week if we can wing it with our 3 different time zones over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if we do start doing previews for any listeners, guys, it probably may possibly only be on YouTube. We're not too sure yet, but we'll let you know once we decide. But we'll still have our full show every week, as per usual. Tess, do you want to give them a rundown where they can find us on socials?
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram at Villa Pride Down Under, all one word in lowercase, and on X you can find us at Pride Down Under. So give us a follow. If you want to follow me and I'll follow you back, it's at Cuban_Knight, KNIGHT.
Yeah, and if you want to follow me, it's at AVFC Spud and on Twitter, and Mark Spud Holmes on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're looking for Rhino, who's unfortunately couldn't make it tonight for whatever he had going on, it's Rhino_Watkins. Guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe, as we say every week. Doesn't cost anything, but just helps the podcast. I mean, the interaction's getting better. We're getting plenty of comments on YouTube. Just hit the thumbs up, because it does help if you're watching it. Just it takes 2 seconds. Just with your finger, hit the like. It does a lot more than you realize. So just keep doing that. Everything helps us. Comments, sharing the podcast, whatever it may be. And I know we say this every week, but I think people don't realize how much it actually does help the algorithms and stuff, and helps get out there. And we want to be able to reach as many Villa fans as we can, because that's all we're here for.
I know. And one of the good news bits is hopefully we might have a special guest in a few weeks over the international break.
Yeah. So listen out for that as well, because we've got Leicester this weekend, and we'll hopefully have Rhino back next weekend. I'm sure we will. And yeah, look, we're going to leave it at that. It's good to catch up. My final take really would be I'm not too downbeat. I think there was enough positives in that game. No one likes to lose, but look, if you're going to lose, you want to lose with a good performance. And I think that, fair to the boys, they did give a good performance. It didn't quite go the way in the end, but I don't think anybody really that watched the full 90 minutes of that game would say Arsenal didn't deserve it really over 90. So yeah, we'll just wrap that up and then up the Villa.
Up the Villa.